Summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, summertime. Honey, solen danser, du og jeg.
Hi there, and welcome to your modern shaman, Maria in RainbowLand. This is the weekly heartful report from the week that starts at the 21st until the 29th of August 2018. Here, with a new setup, we will have a new sort of report, and it's gonna be called 7 Signs of the Week, because each week we will have 7 things I will go through that are significant for this week, or the week we are going through. This week will be filmed from the home in Denmark, close to the forest, and you will see some nature wonders instead of my face this time. And it will take you into yourself and your core and create peace while you listen. So, this week we will have, first of all, the general overview, the main point of the week for the report. Number 1. Number 2, Sun. The sun is moving into an earth sign, into Virgo. What does this mean for your sign? Number 3, Mercury. It is going direct. Ooh, yeah, from last week. It is sextiling Venus. And it's squaring Jupiter, a benefic planet. So, number 4, Mars is direct later on this week in Capricorn. Ooh, still blows from Uranus, but in a new light. 4 planets still retro. Number 5. Venus is still at home. We like her, but it's gonna square Pluto. What does this mean for the relationships? Number 6. Full moon in Pisces on the 26th of August. Number 7. Card of the week. Yay! We'll start with weekly tarot cards, because Maria has been doing tarot since she got her first deck from her father, who is also a tarot card reader, when she was 12. So of course she will use this now, and it's Rider-Waite card. Yeah, that is the extra of this week, but it will be every week from now on that we will also take a tarot card for each sign. So these are the 7 signs of the week. And now we start with number 1. Are you ready? The overall view for all of us. Yay! And this week, my main theme will be man plans, God laughs. And do you know what I mean by that? Well, man plans and God laughs. That means something that I have discovered so many times. We can want and desire this and that and that and this with our little human egos. And for sure we will, because we have Jupiter in Scorpio. And we can shout and we can scream and we can do this and that, and we can complain and put guilt upon this and that person, and say, oh, this is also because he didn't do, or she didn't do, or I didn't do, and we blame ourselves, we blame others, etc. But when it all comes down to it, I've said it before, then what I can see as an astrologer is that there is a plan. There is a plan. So you can scream and you can shout, but your higher self made a plan with God before you came here, and you can call it God or whatever. I don't care. I am not talking about just, any kind of 3D God that wants your money. I'm talking about Creator, what made us, what we are all a grand part of, which means that God is us, in a way. But that's a longer philosophical story. The whole point is that whatever you're struggling with now, and whatever you feel bruised and battered about coming out of the eclipse, is a part of a plan. And you know, if you have a strong desire with Jupiter and Scorpio, you have with Uranus and Taurus, there's something you want to manifest. You know, and with all the things that has been going on in Leo, where we are now going into another sign, of course, then, yeah, you know what I'm going to say? We have a lot of things we want to do and have fun and do things that makes us laugh and joyful and da-da-da-da-da. And that's what we've been going through during these eclipses, because the last two ones were in Leo, where we want to play and have a joyful life, etc. But not all of the plans are accessible right now. So surrender your desires to God. The spiritual journey of anyone on this planet is all about, if you want to ascend and want to fulfill the spiritual purpose of being on this planet and ascend to nirvana or whatever you want to call it, you know, to the next level where you don't have to reincarnate. The whole trick is to actually be able to let go of all your desires. To let go of all your desires. To give them to God, to Creator, to trust, to your higher self, and trust the process and notice the signs along the way. Follow the path of the highest vibration of joy, or the highest vibration of what makes your heart sing. And now I'm not saying that, oh, but it makes me so joyful to go to the cinema and watch these kind of movies and da da da. This is not what I'm talking about. Those are the pleasures you can have here on a 3D plane. I'm talking about when we don't have resistance in a certain way, and you need to learn to know yourself on a deep core level as a soul, to know when it's actually your heart that sings to you. But sometimes we suffer and we feel suffering. This can be old karmic debt being paid back, so to speak. And this can create a lot of suffering, of course, because we relive stuff to let it go, to release it. But if a door isn't open and you keep trying to force it open, it's not the right door if it doesn't open. I'm not saying, like, for example, if you have a business and you want to fight for it and it takes time and keep hitting shut doors. But if there's no signs of you continuing in this direction because it doesn't give you joy, that's what I'm talking about. Or if you're with someone who doesn't want a child and you really want it, maybe because this person is having an illness in the family that he knows or she knows that will go on to the child, or maybe this person already had 5 children, but then, you know, hand your desire over to God if it doesn't feel right to leave the woman or to leave the man. You know, and whatever thing it is that you desire so badly, if you can leave any kind of desire to God, then you have liberated yourself. Because then you can actually start living your highest purpose and fulfill what you came here for. And listen and hear, because then you're open. When you let go of the desires you have to achieve certain things, you are open. Otherwise, you're closed off. So this is very important on this journey of finding out where we're going. Maybe probably you are the only one standing in your way for yourself. Maybe your purpose is to serve other people as a light worker. And then the benefits will come as you do so. Give all your cares and worries and desires and things to God, is what they always taught us. And then the world will land before your feet. Because then you're empty enough to see the beauty in the things that you already have. And you attract more of the beautiful things. And you will see that the things that you didn't think was beautiful, or you didn't recognize or realize that you actually had in your life, was actually already the gifts that you wanted. But you kept complaining because That is just the nature of us as human beings sometimes. Do you know, my dad used to call it the law of unsatisfaction. You know, that is what we are so good at. Limiting ourselves as human beings for that matter. Okay, so no matter how spiritual you think you are, we are all in a process. No matter how far you think you've come, we are all in a process. I don't think that anyone got out of this eclipse without feeling bruised in some one way or the other. I hope that you see why and that you are in a good new direction for yourself in your life. After the eclipse, we all woke up to some realities. And them realities we need to learn to accept. Everything is possible in the right order, but not everything is possible in the same life. We really need to feel into what is actually the purpose and point for us in this life. We cannot get all lives gathered into one. Freedom and space and 10 children at the same time. Being a known musician and being a very personal and private person. It's a retrograde phase. It's time to stand face to face with ourselves. So don't focus too much upon, but he also said, and she also did, and they also Put your focus and intention inwardly. Still, I know that some has to be outwardly, because now we have Mercury moving forward, and we will have Mars doing the same thing. So a lot is going on this week. So, sign number 2, the sun for you, Libra, is moving out of your 11th house into your 12th house, an earth sign. And of course, it's a part of a grand trine in Earth between the 3 biggies, between Uranus and Saturn. Saturn in Capricorn in your 4th house, and Uranus in your 8th house of Taurus. So, just as the last weeks, this trine between those two are being amplified by the Sun in Virgo. So this is a huge chance. This is not something you see every day. It's a huge chance for you between, the 4th house in Capricorn. This is your home life, being closer to your family, digging more into the deeper emotional sides of reality, feeling into how to manifest lives in a balanced way with your emotional life on a deep core level. And the 8th house is deep resources shared with others, and it's a transformational sign, a very spiritual sign. If you transform, that you can only go as high as you can go low, so here you transform on a very deep level, and the 12th is your spiritual resources, and so these can bring some kind of fruition and of some hard work that you may have done along the way. And you're kind of like a sign that likes to think usually, because you're an air sign. So now it's more about feeling into things. Using your intuition, using your emotional skills to feel the atmosphere around you, to give yourself the space to trust your intuition. These are good for you, these 3 planets. So have moments of meditation, being in the flow, going into nature, doing whatever it takes for you to stop thinking, So, of course, then we have number 3. Sign number 3, that is Mercury. So of course we have Mercury still in your 11th house and started moving forward last week, and this is your friendship house. So which friendships should you hang out with? It's important which ones you pick, so don't fall back into old addictions and old attachments to people, So again, let me just say one thing about the number 2, sign number 2 again. The grand trine. Stay in a positive reality. So you have to release your old reality. These are big releases of emotions at the deepest hidden stuff, it's not small things when we have the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th house into the picture. The 4 emotional houses. So it's big, new, big releases and of old emotions and the deepest hidden stuff you have actually craved probably to let go of. So something you hold on to mentally perhaps that has to be let go of now, and it will set you free in ways that you cannot even imagine. Which people do you want to hang out with? Bring these things up from the underground, this is again, we're back to sign number 3. So it's an earth sign, so it's a 3D reality releasing here. It's not just a mental. We are mixing sign 2 and sign 3, which is sun into earth sign, making a grand sign, and the Mercury thing, because those two are combined. We've had all this going on in your 11th house, and now it's going into a 12th house. So in earth signs, it's a 3D reality releasing, not just a mental thing or something you feel. It's talking about that issue or those issues or whatever it is that you need to let go of. With Mercury and Leo now moving direct, it's saying things. It's perhaps even people from the past that hurt you. Chop some wood while you say, huh, and let go of it. Or use what do you call these boxing pillows? And they say, ooh, get it out physically. Tell your truth. With Uranus in your 8th, there's a transformation. Maybe even a sudden one that comes to you and suddenly you're released of something that will let you try a new life. It's time to start a new life. So face the deeper spiritual issues you have like you're positively supported in this. And also the sign number 3 of the week, the Mercury direct, has a Venus sextile to Mercury also and a square to Jupiter. So the Mercury square to Jupiter is like someone from your group associations perhaps, your friend circles can give you something beneficial. But even though beneficial, I think you say in English, I get a little excited here, sorry. My Libra rising. No. So even though it's a square, it may come through some kind of tension perhaps, My Mercury direct is in your social sector is also about future planning, genius ideas, eclipses here, as well as we also have the sun here and the North Node still. It's about general. We had the eclipses here, so there was a lot going on up until now, and with Mercury still here, it's about general future planning. So if you've had plans, have made your plans for the future, it's now you can start behind the scenes to plan how the first step on this journey is gonna go. And further on when the sun goes into your first house in 4 weeks. So now it's behind the scenes in the 12th house. But only if you know where you are going. If you've spent these eclipses really finding out what it is you want and be honest with yourself, even though you may not feel like you have made the decision because of the retrogrades, you probably already do know. If you know where you're going, things will flow much more easier when that time comes. But if you haven't yet decided for yourself what it is that you want, well, then the sun here in the 12th house will give you a lot to think about over the next 4 weeks about what it is that you got to do. But don't panic if so. It's because we've had the retrogrades. It's very normal. There's a plan. Trust the plan. Mercury direct in your 11th house is also that if you had any sort of complication that were connected to your friends, like to your social connections and relationships, it's so trendy to use this word, social economic relationships. If you look it up, it's like social economics is, what did they say, I think they wrote something like it's a branch of economics that focuses on the relationships between social behavior and economics. And I remember I was like, oh, fuck, now I have to translate that into my own little language here. But it's something about your status, right? About your economical status and socially which work you have, education, or your family's economy, and stuff like that. And I'm like, education, again, occupation goals, future goals, what you earn and what you gain, long-term goals. So if there's been any complications here, they will start improving now, and they probably already started a little to be put in a better light last week and be moving forward again. And we always need to put extra energy into anything to do with retrogrades. So it's nice. So sign number 4, Mars. We spent a lot of time on 2 and 3, but it was important. Mars is going direct on the 28th, but it will be stationary most of the week. And that means that maybe we will feel a little bit of stalling in our personal and emotional life because, we also have 4 planets as Libras. I mean, because it's in the 4th house of Capricorn, Mars going direct. So at the same time as the flow is coming in, there will be parts of you that feel a little stagnated, family, emotional-wise. Your inner child is kind of like, yeah, come on, let's do it. And then on the 28th, it's like, yeah, now it can move forward. And something will be feeling like, going more smoothly, more easy. But we still have 4 planets retrograding, so inward time is still here, shining upon us. Personal issues would be better. But anyways, 5th sign of the week, Venus at home in Libra. And this is, of course, your planet in your home, in your first house. So your ruler Venus is in square to Jupiter this week. Besides from a trine, though it also has to Mercury, which is putting a good light on all that stuff I told you before about the social economic status and the future planning and the friendships. There will be a very good aspect here between, how you can charm your way into resolving any issues here. But Venus also, your ruler is also in square to Jupiter this week, and that's a complex one because Venus in the first makes you more charismatic and appealing to others in a super positive way and beneficial in all ways. So if there's anything you feel is right for you to go for, you have much more drive to go after it. People are receptive to you, but with the Pluto square, someone in your personal life, because it's in the 4th, can be very drawn to you in a less obvious way concerning something to do with money or sexual desires, or you to them. It's as an astrologer, it can be vice versa. So watch out for your own intentions and other people's intentions. So if you find something that seems a little too good, or you feel that something is hidden, then use your intuition with all the 4th, 8th and 12th house stuff going on. You could feel into the situation. So proceed with caution if there's any signs. Notice the signs. Not just these signs that I'm saying, but because for all of us, Venus, the Pluto square has something to do with us improving our relationships over the next period of time, 3 months, because your planet will be moving backwards and retrograde in October, November, and won't be out of the circle. What is it called in English? Shadow phase. I don't know why they use the shadow phase, But anyway, it's more like a butterfly in Danish, much more positive than shadow phase. But anyway, it crosses the same path 3 times. So we will look carefully over this area of our life. And it's between around 10 degrees of Scorpio back into around 25th degrees of Libra and then forward again. So this is relationships. And we have had Scorpio here since 10-11, and we've had Jupiter moving through this area. We've had Mars retrograding in Scorpio 2 years ago, and so now Venus is kind of rounding up a circle here. We're closing it up, but it's important to make that change within ourselves now. And as I also did in the other reports, I sang my favorite song, just a few lines, and it is, I'm starting with a man in the mirror. Oh yeah, I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Yeah. Da 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 da. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm not sorry though, but some people may not want the singing, but that song is too awesome. Go check it out. We have to improve ourselves in our relationships, and we have to look within. We cannot just blame it on the boogie or the other people. Blame it on the boogie. Yeah. Okay, no, I have to stop myself because now I'm like, ooh. Okay, so No, I can't. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Blame it on the good times. Don't blame it on the good times. And blame it on the boogie. Yeah. Okay. So, there's a full moon. That's sign number 6. Full moon in Pisces, Sunday. With Neptune involved on the 26th of August in your 6th house. So, don't blame it on you getting drunk, because Neptune would probably just wanna escape reality somehow, but rather use this full moon to improve your health situation and your routine in your day-to-day life. Eat a carrot. Go take a walk in nature. Take a hike. No. go do something which is good for your body also. You know, some yeah. 7th. Let's go to the 7th. Sign number 7 of the week is Tarot card of the week. What did you have? Queen of Pentacles. Yay! That's an awesome one. Look at this card. New things to manifest, through your spirituality. New fortune. I can feel like it's like this bounty land, New things to manifest through your spirituality. The 4th, the 8th, and the 12th house I was talking about. You using your intuition, using your more personal, emotional, spiritual life to dig into your emotions and change your life on a deeper spiritual level. Then you will manifest a bountiful future, a bountiful life. See the new horizons, because they're already effing beautiful and bountiful around you. So stop being stuck in the past. Stop being stuck to old attachments to people, and stop being so dependent on other people. You can shine on your own, and then they will come to the right person. People will be around you, but sometimes you have to look within and really clear out the garbage for you to actually manifest. This card is so bountiful, and it tells that look at her. She is in this thing that she created. And this time, because you have these houses, spiritual, emotional, intuitive houses of deep transformation of your personal life and of the spiritual life in earth signs for the Libra. This means that your spirituality will manifest. If you do your spiritual work, it will manifest as bounty on the physical 3D plane. Now, how does that sound? Freaking awesome. So remember, don't follow trends.
Summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig.